The latest now in Fountain Square and the homeless encampment that the city promised to close this week. And that was supposed to happen back on Monday. And right now, if you would go out there, you would see that several tents there are still standing. On July 25th, the city posted notice that the Leonard Street homeless camp would be cleared by August 11th. Today's the 13th. Obviously, that deadline came and went. Alex Almanza brings us up to date.
Residents in Fountain Square say it began with a few tents and grew out of control. Dozens line the area near I-65, and with them, neighbors say problems like rocks being thrown at homes and people being chased with sticks. One neighbor we spoke with previously says she's selling her home because of the camp. She didn't want her name used, worried it could hurt the sale.
I do believe that they should be forcibly removed because of the health and safety concerns. I am continuing to get threats and I'm getting harassed when I'm outside in my own yard.
In a statement on Tuesday to 13 News, OPHS says they need more time to work on alternative shelter solutions and, quote, will not force those who remain at the camp to relocate. The office saying that the area is closed to camping and no new tents are allowed. Some residents say it's a promise the city never kept.
I would encourage the city to act quicker with the Streets to Home Indy initiative. They need to take action in order to make the neighborhood safer for people like me.
Reverend David Green serves on the Mayor's Leadership Council on Homelessness. He says the city needs to consider more than just clearing tents.
I'm not for forcible removal in terms of adding trauma to people who are already traumatized. So I would like to see this happen in a way that would not be necessary.
Green says within a reasonable time frame, the city can be intentional on getting people help.
In a 90-day window, I believe that every one of those individuals can get housing and get the services that they need.
For now, the tents remain, and neighbors say they're left wondering if anything will really change. In Indianapolis, Alex Almanza, 13 News.
Also on this very same topic, we've now learned that a vital resource for people living out of their cars here in Indianapolis is shutting down. Safe Park Indy created parking spaces for people on the Northeast Side Church, and you can see they would park along this building here, and people could park there overnight. They would also have access inside that building to essential services, things like bathrooms and phone chargers. The program's director says that the demand for this program has gotten too big for her to run it herself. She says right now there is a wait list of 400 people, and there's space for only 5 to 20 people at a time. The founder is hoping that she can find support from local nonprofits to keep this space plant running in the future so that residents in Indy have a safe place to park. It's now 12:03, and talking with Sean about the weather just a few minutes ago, and he goes, pretty decent day.
Yeah, it is. Gonna be, the rain looks like it's going to be spotty. Not saying it's comfortable by any stretch, because if you have to be outside, it is going to be humid. Yeah. Which has been the theme for this summer. Yes. But hang tight, hang tight.
Okay.
Yeah, late next week.
Okay,
if you're not a fan of this muggy air, there may be a little relief in store. Let's talk about what's happening right now. I'll get you at 75 there in Greensburg, one of the cooler temperatures on our map here in a moment. 80 in Morse, 82 here in Carmel, and 80 in downtown Indy at this hour with a dew point of 72. So 70 plus. Kind of label that the air you can wear here. We do have the cloud cover, and there's a very subtle wind shift. So we're not going to notice much cooler air or much drier air, but it will shift the focus for storm initiation, albeit isolated over the southeastern corner of the state, mostly. Temperature change from this time yesterday, 5 to locally 10 degrees lower. With the cloud cover around, that wind shift that we talked about, but all of us remain in this muggy air. The flash flood risk zone displaced to the southeastern corner of the state today. You'll see on Future Track 13 a few pop-ups. A lot of areas will not have rainfall for today. We're back to sunshine tomorrow. We are back to hot air this weekend. How high we're going ahead in your forecast.
Back. Meantime, Indy's top cop now is weighing in on the mayor's budget proposal. This is a spending plan that was unveiled earlier this week. IMPD IMPD Chief Chris Bailey says investments in technology are helping reduce crime all across the city. And he says this plan doubles down on the investments. They include $1.7 billion budget that has big allocations, $358 million for IMPD. That's about $20 million more than was allocated last year. And most of that, $290 million, will cover salaries for officers and staff. Department leaders say a good chunk will also go toward gear, things like license plate readers and cameras.
That technology is leading us in the right direction to help give our detectives a leg up when we start those investigations. And the 2026 budget helps us build on the collective momentum and progress that we see, and together we can continue to build and make Indianapolis safer and stronger for every person and every neighborhood in our city.
Staffing continues to be a concern. Right now, IMPD is down 300 officers. The chief hopes the money will help address that staffing shortage. The full council is expected to vote on the full budget in October after committee reviews. There is now a new resource for business owners aimed at keeping stolen guns off Indy streets. Gun stores can now search a serial number before you make a purchase. Before this, shops had to rely on an unofficial user-submitted website or get a police officer to check the serial number in person to see if a gun was in fact reported stolen. Gunslinger's co-owner John Beeman is also the Madison County Sheriff's, and he says this is really a critical tool and it will change the secondary market.
Minimizes our exposure to purchasing stolen firearms, and it's another effort to help law enforcement to remove stolen firearms from the street.
I think it's amazing as being a gun owner. One, you never want to be implicated as the one that stole the gun if you do buy a stolen gun. Two, you don't want to lose out on the money. Guns are expensive. And I think it's like safety, keeping guns out of criminals' hands.
That's Ryan Phillips, who tells us that he turned in 2 stolen Glocks last year. If a gun shop discovers that a firearm has been reported stolen, someone will contact police and then hold on to the gun for further investigation. A former Greenwood Middle School teacher now will spend 20 years in prison for crimes against children. A Johnson County judge sentenced Shane Williams, pictured here, to 2 decades behind bars. This for child molestation, child solicitation, and dissemination of matter harmful to minors. The prosecutor says that 2 children came forward accusing him of abuse. The prosecutor issued a statement after the sentencing saying, quote, "How despicable that this child molester had been a teacher, someone who was once entrusted to protect and guide young people." Right now, people in Greenwood are looking for the person or people who vandalized a sign that said a Hindu temple. Officers say when they arrived there on Monday, they found the sign spray painted with the message, quote, "Death to Hindus, death to India, death to Prime Minister." Members of the temple then held a group prayer yesterday saying that they are united against anti-religious behavior.
We would make every effort to bring peace and unity among this hate which they're trying to spread. And we're going to counter that with love. We're going to counter that with peace.
The National Hindu organization known as BAPS says that this is the 4th time in less than a year that one of its temples has been subject to a hate crime. Right now, Eli Lilly is facing a lawsuit from the state of Texas, claiming that Lilly illegally induced medical providers to prescribe weight loss drugs. The Attorney General in Texas, Ken Paxton, claims that Lilly bribed medical providers with incentives, so they would in turn prescribe GLP-1 medications like Mounjaro and Zepbound to their patients. Those medications are used for weight loss and diabetes treatment. A Reuters report says that Lilly intends to vigorously defend against these allegations. And this sounds really exciting. At Butler University, a new opportunity, a new degree program. It allows students to study in multiple countries while earning a bachelor's degree, and they can do it in 3 years. It's called Butler Overseas. Students selected for the program will study in 8 countries on 6 continents. It's the first of its kind in the U.S. that's offered by an accredited university. The first cohort for this program will start their classes in summer of 2027. We have much more about this program right now if you'd like to check it out. If you head to our website at WTHR.com.